Good morning, children. So, children, today we are going to discuss about the president. So, the president of India is the head of the state and he is elected by an electoral college which consists of the elected member of both the houses of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and the legislative assemblies of the states and union territories of Delhi and Pondicherry. Okay, now the president hold office for terms of 5 years and he can also resign from his office at any time when he thinks he is not able to hold his position. Clear? And the resignation need to be submitted to the vice president. Okay, so he can hold his office for the terms of 5 years or he can give resignation before his terms, and last he can be removed from his position through impeachment process for violations of the constitution. Clear? Now we will discuss about the eligibility to be the president, that is what criteria is required to be a president. Now he must be a citizen of India. Secondly, his age. What should be his age? He should be above 35 years of age. And thirdly, he should not hold any office of profit under the central or the state or the local government. Clear? Now, regarding the salary and allowance, we will discuss. That is, the president draw a salary of rupees 5 lakh per month and he is even entitled to other allowance in force from time to time, and the salary and allowance which he is getting, it can't be reduced during his terms of office. Clear? Now we will discuss about the power and function of the president. So president has got 7 power. What are those? That is a legislative power, executive power, judicial power, financial power, military power, diplomat power, and the last, that is the emergency power. Okay, so first one is the legislative power, that is the power and function of the parliament. We will discuss of the legislative. First, he can summon or prolong the parliament and dissolve the Lok Sabha. Clear? And he can also summon a joint sitting of both the houses of the parliament, which is presided over by the speaker of the Lok Sabha. Secondly, he can address the parliament at the commencement of the first session after each general election and the first session of each year. Okay, and thirdly, he can send a message to the house of the parliament whether with respect to a bill pending in the parliament or otherwise. Okay, and he can also appoint any member of the Lok Sabha to preside over his proceeding when the office of both the speaker and the deputy speaker fall vacant. Similarly, he can also appoint any member of the Rajya Sabha to preside over its proceeding when the office of both the chairman and the deputy chairman fall vacant. Okay, and president, he can nominate 12 members of the Rajya Sabha from among person having special knowledge or practical experience in literature, science, art and social science. And he can also nominate 2 members in the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community. Clear? So this was the legislative power of the president. Now the executive power and function of the president. Like, all executive action are taken in his name, as the real power is of the prime minister. Even he can appoint prime minister only to those leader. As prime minister, he can appoint who has got majority party vote in the house, and he appoint attorney general of India, who is the legal advisor of the government of India. Clear? That is, he appoint the attorney general. Even he can also appoint governor of state, chief justice and other judge of Supreme Court and High Court, chairman, and he can also seek information from the prime minister. Clear? This was the power and function of executive of president. Okay, So third power is the judicial power. That is the judicial power we will discuss. What is the judicial power that been exercised by the president? That is, he appoints the chief justice and the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. He can seek advice from the Supreme Court on any question of law or fact. However, the advice tendered by the Supreme Court is not binding on the president. Clear? And even the president has the power to grant pardon or reduce the sentence of a person convicted of any offense, and even he can also pardon a death sentence. Clear? And next we will discuss about the financial power. That is the financial power and function of the president. What are those? That is, the annual budget is placed before the parliament in the name of the president, and no money bill can be introduced in the parliament unless recommended by the president. That is, money bill can be introduced in the parliament only with his prior recommendation. Okay, and in case of any unfrozen expenditure, that is in case of drought, flood, the president can grant an advance from the contingency fund of India. Clear? And he constitutes a finance commissions after every 5 years to recommend the distribution of revenue between the central and the state. Okay, next is the military power. That is, the president is the supreme commander of the Defence Force of India. As being the supreme commander of Defence Force of India, the president has got the right to appoint the chief of the army, the navy and the air force, and even he can declare war or conclude peace subject to the approval of the parliament. Clear? Now next, the diplomatic power. Now the international treaties and the agreement are being negotiated and concluded on behalf of the president. However, they are subjected to the approval of the parliament. For that, if any negotiation or treaties is being done on behalf of the president, for that the approval of the parliament is required. And even he represents India in international forum and affairs and send and receive diplomats like ambassador, high commissioner and so on. Clear? That is, all the international treaties and agreement are concluded in the name of the president. Now, last is the emergency power. That is, the president exercise the emergency power. That is, certain special power to deal with emergency situation. Like, the president enjoyed 3 types of emergency power. That is, a national emergency under Article 352, President rule under Article 356 and 365, and financial emergency, that is Article 360. That is, he can impose emergency in case of external aggression or an armed rebellion. And if the constitution machinery of a state is break down, he can declare emergency. Thirdly, if there is a threat to the financial stability of the country, then the president has got the right to declare the emergency in this situation. Clear? That is, when a state faces the breakdown of constitution machinery, then the president takes over the rules of the state. So this is called the president rule. Clear? Now we will discuss the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, and this is the last part of your chapter. Okay, so the President of India is the constitutional executive head, and the real head of the government is Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. So all decisions are taken in the name of the President, but President cannot act of its own, as according to Constitution, the President can act on the aid and advice of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. The President appoints the Prime Minister, and on advice of the Prime Minister, the President appoints Council of Ministers. So, As for convictions, the leader of the majority party are initiated to form the government, and in case there is no single largest part, the leader of the coalition is been appointed as Prime Minister. Clear? Now the Prime Minister enjoys central position to the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers enjoy office during the pleasure of President. Okay. Now the Council of Ministers had minister of different rank, as these are not specified in the constitution but rather done informally. So there are three rank in Council of Ministers. So what are those? They are Cabinet Minister, Minister of State and Deputy Minister. Clear? Now Cabinet Minister. So the Cabinet Minister is an informal body of senior minister who form the inner circle of the Council of Ministers. Clear? Now a Cabinet Minister lead a ministry. Okay. Now second, the Ministry of State, that is Minister of State are an outer circle, and Minister of State are of two kinds, that is Minister of State with independence charge and charge of Ministry of State. Okay, so the Minister of State have to abide by the decision made by the Cabinet. Clear? Now the Deputy Minister. As the Deputy Minister are those ministers who are not given any independent charge, and this Deputy Minister asset State Minister or Cabinet Minister. Clear? Now the eligibility, that is to be eligible for appointment as a minister. What criteria required? As a person must be a member of either house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. However, in case a person who is not a member can be appointed for 6 months, but he has to obtain membership, that is within that month he has to obtain membership of either house of the parliament, either by election or by nomination. Clear? Now the working of Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister is the head of the Council of Ministers, and the council work under the Prime Minister as a team. That is, Council of Ministers and the Minister as a body is collectively responsible to the legislature, and the Minister are also individually responsible to the executive head, that is the President. So, if a vote of non-confidence is been passed against the government, then the Council of Ministers has to resign from his position. Clear? So this is all about the parliamentary system. So we have completed our chapter, children. So if any confusion, you could ask me. Must go through the text. Thank you.